Hello, class. My name is Andrew. Today I'm going to give you a speech spoken by Drew Dudley, a leadership expert on everyday leadership. I want to start by asking everyone a question. How many of you are completely comfortable with calling yourselves a leader? I've asked that question all over the country, and everywhere I ask, no matter where, there's a huge portion of the audience that won't put up their hand. And I've come to realize that we have made leadership something bigger than us, something beyond us. We've made it about changing the world. We've taken this title of leader and treated it as something that one day we're going to deserve. But to give it to ourselves right now means a level of arrogance and cockiness that we're not comfortable with. And I worry sometimes that we spend so much time celebrating amazing things that hardly anybody can do that we convince ourselves those are the only things worth celebrating. We start by devaluing the things that we can do every day. We take moments where we are true leaders and we don't let ourselves take credit for it or feel good about it. I've been lucky enough over the last 10 years to work with amazing people who have helped me redefine leadership in a way that I think has made me happier. With my short time today, I want to share with you one story that is probably most responsible for that redefinition. I went to a little school called Mount Allison University in Sackville, New Brunswick. And on my last day there, a girl came up to me and said, I remember the first time I met you. And she told me a story that had happened 4 years earlier. She said, on my first day, before I started university, I was in the hotel room with my mom and dad, and I was so scared and so convinced I couldn't do this that I wasn't ready for university. That I just burst into tears. My mom and dad were amazing. They were like, we know you're scared, but let's just go the first day. And if at any point you feel as if I can't do this, that's fine. Tell us and we'll take you home. We love you no matter what. She says, so I went the next day. I was in line for registration and I knew I had to quit. I made that decision as soon as I made it. An incredible feeling of peace came over me. I turned to my mom and dad to tell them we had to go home, and at that moment, you came out of the student union building wearing the stupidest hat I've ever seen in my life. It was awesome. And you had a big sign promoting Sharama, which is a students fighting cystic fibrosis, a charity I've worked with for years. And you've had a bucket full of lollipops. You were handing the lollipops out to people online and talk about Sharama. All of a sudden, you got to me and you just stopped. And you stared. It was creepy. That girl knows what I'm talking about. Then I looked at the guy next to me. Then you looked at the guy next to me and smiled, reached into your bucket, pulled out a lollipop, and held it out to him and said, you need to give this lollipop to the beautiful woman next to you. She said, I've never seen anyone get more embarrassed in my life. He turned beet red. He wouldn't look at me. He just kind of held the lollipop out like this. I felt so bad for this dude. I took the lollipop. As soon as I did, you got an incredibly severe look on your face and looked at my mom and dad and said, look at that, look at that. First day away from home, and she's already taking candy from a stranger. She said, everybody lost it. 20 feet in every direction. Everyone started howling. I knew this is cheesy, and I don't know why I'm telling you this. But in the moment when everyone was laughing, I knew I shouldn't quit. I knew what I was there for. I knew I was home, and I haven't spoken to you once in the 4 years since that day. But I heard that you were leaving, and I had to come tell you. I, you've been an incredible, important person in my life. I'm going to miss you. Good luck. And she walks away. I'm flattened. She gets 6 feet away and turns around and smiles and goes, you should probably know this, too. I'm still dating that guy 4 years later. A year and a half after I moved to Toronto, I got an invitation to their wedding. Here's the kicker. I don't remember that. I have no recollection of that. I've searched my memory bank because that is funny and I should remember doing it. I don't. That was such an eye opening, transformative moment for me to think that maybe the biggest impact I've ever had on anyone's life, a moment that had a woman walk up to a stranger 4 years later and say, you've been an important person in my life. was a moment that I didn't even remember. How many of you guys have a lollipop moment? A moment where someone said or did something that you feel fundamentally made your life better. All right. How many of you have told that person they did it? See, why not? We celebrate birthdays where all you have to do is not die for 365 days. Yet we let people who have made our lives better walk around without knowing. Every single one of you have been a catalyst for a lollipop moment. You've made someone's life better by something you said or did. If you think you haven't, think of all the hands that didn't go up. When I asked, you're just one of the people who hasn't been told yet. It's scary to think of ourselves as powerful, frightening to think we can matter that much to other people. As long as we make leadership something bigger than us, as long as we keep leadership beyond us and make it about changing the world, we give ourselves an excuse not to accept it every day from ourselves and from each other. Marion Wilson said, our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate, it is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light and not our darkness that frightens us. My call to action today is that we need to get over our fear of how extraordinary powerful we can be in each other's lives. We need to get over it so that we can move beyond it. And our little brothers and sisters, and one day our kids, or our kids right now, can watch and start to value the impact we have on each other's lives. More than money, power, titles, and influence, we need to redefine leadership as being about lollipop moments. How many of them we create, how many we acknowledge, how many of them we pay for, and how many we say thank you for. Because we made leadership about changing the world, and there's no world. There's only 6 billion understandings of it. And if we change one person's understanding of it, understanding what they're capable of, understanding of how much people care about them, understanding of how powerful an agent for change they can be in this world, you've changed the whole thing. And if we can understand leadership like that, I think we can redefine leadership like that. I think we can change everything. And it's a simple idea, but I don't think it's a small one. I want to thank you so much for letting me share this with you today. That is my speech. Thank you.